Hi there. My name is Dr. Katrina Cox. I'm a naturopathic doctor and the author of The Opportunity in Cancer. I wanted to come on today and chat a little bit more about stress. And we've talked about the hidden cost of stress, we've talked about healing stress, but how do we move beyond it into this completely thriving life? How do we move beyond the stress? And part of the difficulty that I find with a lot of clients is that it is hard to stay clear and confident in the decisions that we're making, especially in the cancer realm and in the cancer recovery realm. And part of that difficulty is that there are so many studies that come out, there are so many decisions to make, and it doesn't stop once cancer treatment is done. The decisions about what food to put in our body, when to go back to work, there's so many implications, and it's so individual and different for each person. This reminds me of a couple of different cases. Like there's a man who comes into my office on a first visit and he has 40 supplements, no word of a lie, 40 bottles that he lines up and he's taking. And so we had to spend the entire time going through why he thought they were important. And, I asked him a simple question. Do you really want to take all of this? And he was like, no, it's absolutely overwhelming, but I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure my cancer doesn't come back. And I was like, well, we have to have more confidence in the decisions that we're making, because this is just yet more fear-based decision making. And he was very adamant. There were things that were not working together. And this is where, partnering with somebody is very important to be able to make this happen. And one of the things that I talk with patients is having some sort of guideline to be able to what I call filter out the noise, right? There's going to be, a newspaper article. There's going to be the next bit of research. There's going to be a well-meaning relative that comes with some more information. Somebody who's a best friend who says we should eat like this. There's going to be all this massive overwhelm. And so what do we need to do in order to be able to clear that noise and get down to the confidence and clarity that we need in order to make the right decisions for ourselves? And so there is this principle that I talk about. It's called the SMART principle. You've probably heard about it with goal setting and stuff like that. I've altered it, though, to be very specific about this health kind of journey. And the first thing is, if someone's recommending something, is there some science to back it up? And the second thing is there a measurable outcome? Is there some way for us to see there's actual change on your behalf? And the third thing is, are you aware? Are you aware enough of what's happening and the connection in terms of making this a bigger and more important thing for you to do? And is it realistic? If somebody tells you, that you should be a vegan and you're not in charge of your food and you grew up on a meat farm, and, is that going to be realistic for you to be able to do all the time? And the third thing is it truly transformative? Is whatever's coming down the pipes or whatever decision that you're trying to make, is this going to be a transformative thing? And so this, I think, extends not only to making decisions about, cancer and cancer treatment, but more importantly about this cancer recovery process. There's a lot of studies about how, overwhelm is a part of it. And the most recent one in 2020 that came out, which was really interesting, was talking about the impacts of emotions and social media and how it impacted people and their decision making. And that's really important, because knowledge is power, but it's only power if we know how to sort through and make it relevant for ourselves. And so being bombarded like social media with all these emotions and with people's stories and wanting what they have and all these other things, we really need to have that filtering set of tools to be able to work through it. In this study, they showed that 1 in 5 women in the US regret their decisions based on treatment. And they were able to narrow this down. And the reason why was because they didn't fully grasp what decisions they were making. And that's because our world of cancer is really based on making decisions in fear. And although our oncologists know all kinds of things, they don't always have the most amount of time to be able to make sure we're fully understanding the decisions that we're making. And that's really important. And sometimes we just surrender and allow them to do what they think is best for us. And that's okay too. But we also have to understand that we need to come from that empowerment more. So how do we move beyond this stress? Well, we implement the SMART principles, like I talked about, by filtering out the noise of everything that's coming through. And then the second thing that I tell patients is we want to be reasonable. What can you achieve and how can you start small? Right? So even if there's a goal of what you want to get to, how do we start small to get towards that? And what can we achieve originally? And then the third thing is find a partner. Find a partner that's on the same wavelength as you. Find a naturopathic doctor, a friend, somebody that understands that this process is not going to be from point A and point B, and it's not going to be straight, and they're going to get that there's ups and downs, and that they have that ability to check in with you and be flexible and reasonable, be able to move forward. And so this is one of the things that you want to do in order to be able to move beyond stress. I hope this video helped you out. We'd really love you to join our community, the Cancer Remission Mission.com, and also get your copy of The Opportunity in Cancer today.